Welcome back to CoinQuest. Today, we're diving into the world of classic American coinage to uncover the secrets behind a coin that often goes unnoticed, the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny. If you've ever come across a 1941 cent coin featuring Abraham Lincoln, you might just be holding onto something worth far more than face value. So stay tuned, because we're about to break down everything you need to know about its history, varieties, rare errors, and how much it's worth in today's market. Cut to intro. Graphics. Title: 1940 Lincoln wheat penny. Hidden value in your pocket change. Segment 1, the legacy of the Lincoln wheat penny. Let's start with a bit of background. The Lincoln wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This was a significant shift, as Lincoln was the first real historical figure to appear on a U.S. coin intended for general circulation. The reverse of the coin features two wheat stalks, which is why collectors commonly refer to it as the wheat penny. It was designed by Victor David Brenner and remained in circulation until 1958, when the wheat design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial. Segment 2, spotlight on 1940. Now, let's focus on the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny. These coins were struck in 3 different U.S. mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The total mintage that year was quite high, over 781 million coins were produced in total. But don't let that big number fool you. There are certain factors and rare varieties that can dramatically increase a 1940 penny's value. Here's the breakdown of Philadelphia Mint. No mint mark, over 586 million coins made. Denver Mint, marked with a small d under the date, about 81 million coins produced. San Francisco Mint, marked with an S, with over 112 million coins minted. Even though these coins are over 80 years old, millions still exist today. But here's the catch: it's the condition, mint mark, and possible errors that can make a world of difference in value. Segment 3, valuable 1940 penny varieties and errors. Now we're getting to the fun part: rare varieties and valuable errors. These are the coins that collectors are willing to pay serious cash for. Double die error. Double die coins occur when the coin is struck more than once with a misaligned die, creating a doubling effect on the letters or numbers. A 1940 penny with strong doubling on the date or lettering can be worth hundreds of dollars, sometimes even more depending on the condition. Off-center strike coins that were struck off-center, meaning the design isn't perfectly aligned, are highly collectible. A 1940 penny with a dramatic off-center error can range from $50 to several $100 depending on how off-center it is. Repunched mint mark, RPM, this is especially relevant for the 1940D and 1940S pennies. If the mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different locations, collectors call this a repunched mint mark. A good quality RPM coin can be worth $10 to $100 or more. Lamination error: sometimes the metal layers separate or flake off. If you find a 1940 penny with visible surface peeling or odd texture due to lamination problems, it might be valuable, possibly $25 to $150 depending on eye appeal. Segment 4, grading and condition. Now let's talk about the most important factor in determining any coin's value: the grade or condition. If your 1940 penny is well circulated, with visible wear and tear, it might only be worth a few cents to a few dollars. But if it's in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks nearly brand new with no signs of wear, that's where the value starts to climb. Coin grading is done on a 70-point scale. A coin graded fine EF12 might be worth about 10 to 20 cents. Extremely fine EF40 could fetch up to $1 or $2. About uncirculated, 50 Australian dollars might bring in $3 to $5. Mint state, MS60 to MS67, can be worth anywhere from $10 up to over $150 or more, especially if it has strong luster and sharp details. Segment 5, auction records and market demand. Let's take a look at some real-world examples. In recent auctions, a 1940 Lincoln wheat penny graded MS67 red by PCG is sold for over $2,000. A 1940S with strong red coloring and top grade finish sold for close to $1,500. Even some error coins in lower grades have sold for $200 to $400 just because they are rare and unique. The key takeaway is this: collectors are always on the hunt for high-grade examples and rare errors. If you find a coin that checks both boxes, you might be holding a small treasure. Segment 6, final tips for collectors and coin hunters. If you're a coin collector or just getting into the hobby, here are some final tips. Always check the date and mint mark carefully. Look for unusual features like doubling, mint mark errors, or striking flaws. Invest in a good magnifying glass or coin loupe to examine details. Store your coins properly in holders or albums to preserve condition. And if you think you Have something valuable? Consider getting it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Closing segment. Don't pass it up. So there you have it. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat penny might look like an ordinary coin, but with the right combination of rarity, condition, and errors, it could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Don't overlook your old change, especially if you've inherited coins or picked up a jar of pennies at a garage sale. You never know what hidden gems are waiting to be discovered. Outro music fades in. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content about valuable coins, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Let us know in the comments if you found any rare 1940 pennies. We'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching and happy collecting. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny. Yes, that tiny copper coin featuring the face of President Abraham Lincoln might just be worth a whole lot more than 1 cent. In this video, we'll explore everything you need to know about the 1944 Lincoln penny, its history, varieties, errors, and current market value, and reveal how much your coin could actually be worth today. Let's get started. The 1944 Lincoln cent is part of the famous Wheat penny series, minted from 1909 to 1958. On the obverse, or front, of the coin, you'll find a bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the words, "In God We Trust," above his head, liberty on the left, and the date 1944 to the right. Flip it over, and you'll see 2 wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above that is the phrase E pluribus unum. Now here's where it gets interesting. In 1944, the United States Mint struck over 2 billion Lincoln pennies, yes, with a B. That makes the 1944 penny one of the highest mintage coins in U.S. history. But not all 1944 pennies are created equal. Most were made from copper and zinc, which had returned after the steel penny experiment of 1943. However, a few rare error coins were struck using leftover steel planchets from 1943, and those are the ones that could make you rich. Let's talk about the different versions of the 1944 Lincoln penny. First, we have the standard 1944 Philadelphia penny with no mint mark. Over 1.4 billion of these were made. In circulated condition, they're common and usually worth around 5 to 15 cents. But in higher grades, especially uncirculated, red specimens graded MS65 and above, these coins can sell for $5 to $15 or more depending on condition and luster. Next up, the 1944 D penny, minted in Denver. With over 430 million produced, this version is also common in circulated condition. But again, in uncirculated red condition, a 1944 D can bring in $10 to $30 at auction, and even higher if graded MS67 or better by professional services like PCGS or NGC. Then we have the 1944 S penny from the San Francisco Mint. Around 282 million were struck. While still relatively common, high-grade red examples can sell for $20 to $50, and in some rare cases, even more if the coin is nearly flawless. But now, let's talk about the Holy Grail, the rare 1944 steel penny. This coin should not even exist. After switching back to copper in 1944, a few leftover steel blanks from 1943 were accidentally used at all 3 mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. These error coins are extremely rare and incredibly valuable. Only around 30 to 40 genuine 1944 steel cents are known to exist across all mint marks. And if you happen to find one, you could be looking at thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. One example of a 1944 S steel penny sold at auction for over $370,000. That's right, from 1 cent to hundreds of thousands. So, how do you know if you have a 1944 steel penny? The easiest test is with a magnet. Standard 1944 copper pennies will not stick to a magnet. But a 1944 steel cent, made of steel with a zinc coating, will stick. If yours does, do not clean it, and get it authenticated immediately by a reputable grading service. Counterfeits do exist, so professional verification is crucial. Besides the steel variety, there are also other error coins from 1944 that bring in big money. Examples include double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and repunched mint marks. These errors can range in value from $50 to several $100, depending on rarity and condition. So, what's the takeaway? If you have a 1944 Lincoln penny, don't overlook it. Even the most common ones are part of American history and can be worth more than face value, especially in high grade. But if you find one with a rare error or one made of steel, you might just be holding a small fortune in your hand. Always store your coins properly, avoid cleaning them, and have any potentially valuable coin appraised or graded by a professional. With the growing interest in coin collecting and historical currency, values continue to rise, and you never know what might be hiding in your pocket change, your piggy bank, or an old family coin jar. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting tips, rare finds, and money-making treasures. Drop a comment below if you think you might have a rare 1944 penny, or if you'd like us to cover another coin in our next video. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and good luck! Where we bring you the most exciting finds in the world of coins, currency, and hidden treasures. If you're a collector, investor, or simply someone who's curious about the value of old coins, you're in for a real treat today. Because in this video, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1955 Lincoln 1-cent penny coin, a coin that may look like any ordinary penny, but can actually be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on the type and condition. Let's begin with a little background. The 1955 Lincoln wheat penny, officially known as the Lincoln cent, was minted during a very interesting time in American coin history. It features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, which was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth. By 1955, the Lincoln cent had already become a staple of American currency and a favorite among collectors. Now, here's where things get exciting. In the year 1955, something unusual happened at the Philadelphia Mint, a minting error that would go down in coin collecting history. A batch of pennies was accidentally double-struck, causing what is now famously known as the 1955 double-die Lincoln cent. On these error coins, you can clearly see doubling in the inscriptions, particularly on the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 1955. This doubling isn't subtle. It's sharp, dramatic, and very noticeable even without magnification, which makes these coins extremely desirable to collectors. So, what's the value of this coin? If you happen to find an authentic 1955 double-die Lincoln cent in your collection or pocket change, you could be holding onto a small fortune. The value of this coin depends heavily on its condition and grade. Here's a breakdown of potential market values. A heavily circulated 1955 double-die penny might still fetch $1,000 to $1,800 at auction or from collectors. In better grades, such as very fine to extremely fine, the value can easily go up to $3,000 or more. If you happen to own a coin in mint state condition, meaning it is barely anywhere in sharp details, the value skyrockets to $10,000 to $15,000, and in some rare cases, even higher. A top-graded coin certified by grading companies like PCGS or NGC could sell for over $25,000 at high-profile auctions. But remember, not every 1955 penny is worth a fortune. There were over 330 million regular Lincoln cents minted in 1955 at the Philadelphia Mint without the doubling error. These standard coins, if circulated, are generally worth between 2 to 5 cents, depending on condition. If you find one in uncirculated or mint state condition, it might be worth around $1 to $5. However, it's always worth checking closely. A small number of 1955 cents with the doubling error were mixed in with the regular coins and released into circulation, and many are still out there today, just waiting to be discovered. So how can you tell if your 1955 penny is valuable? First, look closely at the lettering. If the doubling is strong and visible on "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, then you might have the famous double-die variety. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe if needed. Next, consider getting it authenticated and graded by a reputable third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm if it's a true double-die and provide an official grade, which can significantly affect its market value. Let's talk briefly about other mint marks. In 1955, pennies were minted in Philadelphia and Denver. The double-die variety is only found on Philadelphia minted coins, and those coins do not have a mint mark. So if your 1955 penny has a D under the date, it's from the Denver Mint and not a double-die. The Denver version, while not as valuable, can still be worth a little premium in higher grades. A 1955 D Lincoln penny in mint state can be worth between $1 and $10, depending on quality. So, to summarize, check your 1955 Lincoln pennies for strong doubling on the date and inscriptions. If you find the double-die variety, you could be holding onto a coin worth thousands. Even regular 1955 pennies in excellent condition may still have collector value. Always verify through a professional grading service for authenticity and to determine the best market value. That's all for today's deep dive into the 1955 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny coin. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you never miss out on more amazing coin discoveries. Do you have a 1955 penny in your collection? Let us know in the comments below, we'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy collect!